Thank you. Thank you for very nice words, very kind words. I'm always scared when somebody praises me. I'm not very happy, excepting my wife has come to know who I am now. She has heard Muthuraman. She is happy, so I am also happy. I am 68. I don't want me to be differentiated from my near and dear audience. I always want to be with you, among you, along with you, not as a separate man addressing you. We are only interacting. We are only interacting, sharing something which you know. Perhaps we are rediscovering something which we already know, or sometimes we may not know, we know from each other. I never want to separate distinctly me from others. I want to mingle, remain associated, involved, indulged along with you in sharing what little we know, because we are all traveling to the same forest, a thick forest. Let me quote a very famous poem which most of you may be aware. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. It's a very famous poem, Saptamus. You must have heard of this. It's not that something I'm telling you new. Our valuation profession is also going through a very big evolutionary process. We have to find ways out. Sometimes we remain inside and keep cribbing, grumbling, trying to find a remedy to all the difficulties. To some extent, we succeed. But then we have to confront and keep going. This is a harsh reality of life. Life is never a bed of roses. We need to fight it out. And the wisest thing is to keep an optional alternative for everything and anything in life. Even in a sugar plant, in banks, when they want to, they have a lending policy. They don't give a standalone sugar crushing plant. They want the sugar unit to have a cogeneration, an alcohol, some additional optional alternatives to fall back on, so that it will become very viable. For those values like all of us who predominantly rely on, depend on the valuation as a major spearheading, breadwinning profession, we should further tone it up, tune it up, find out other avenues so that we are able to look out for optional collateral avenues for revenues. When a bank wants to lend to any viable proposal, however viable the proposal may be, the finance model may be, they will still try to take some collateral. The process will be viable, but even then they will say, give me your house, bungalow, plot and all. They want something collateral. What is collateral? The one which runs along with that, which runs parallel along with that. You want to fall back on. In case of a setback, you should have something solid to fall back on and make use of it and come out of the risk. It's a risk covering mechanism. Much more so, it will be always wise to keep other alternative options also. I'm not saying one should give up valuation. We are all from the valuation community. For our experience, our qualification and knowledge, we also should look out for other options which are available for the asking, which are available in the market. We should look here and there and try to enhance the scope and ambit of our valuation horizon. That's all is the brief introduction with which I would like to start on. And it is not difficult for us to stretch and enhance our scope beyond what we are there. To begin with, I want to, it is not a false formal flattery. Thanks to Mr. Anbaragan, he has been instrumental in coining and shaping a wonderful slide. I am able to slide into today's topic because of the captivating slides which he has made. It is not not telling this for the sake of praising him. It was very wonderfully coined out, and hence I thank him heartily, and I leave the control and display of the slides with him only, because the slides are so beautiful, attractive. So I don't want to handle it myself. Let the maker only handle it. So rightly, with all love and beauty, he has made it. That is why his name is Anbu Alagan, right? Anbudanum Alagudanum Tayarikapatta slides. Very nicely made, thanks to him. I'm not telling this to flatter or praise him for the sake of it. It was very good. It is very good. Now, you know, the valuation profession, if you may focus on the slides, it's full of challenges now. To tell you an extreme contrast, a very extreme contrast, I'm very sorry to tell this, but I'm very happy to tell this rather. It is with mixed feeling of sadness and happiness I am revealing. Can anyone tell me another profession like valuation? One more profession, they are also making a bill and that is being introduced to the parliament. Does anyone know about it? The bill was finalized today in this month. Yes,
so
please.
It's advocate, sir. Advocate bill. I think so.
What is that, sir? You are right, but tell me the name of the bill.
Just
you are right. You are right.
Advocate protection bill, sir.
Protection bill.
Oh, very good.
You have missed out the main word.
Yeah, protection.
Which is the heart of today's topic.
Yeah.
There is a profession which wants to pass a bill to protect their community. See the contrast. Here is a valuation community where the service users are inflicting an indemnity. Anyway, I don't want to jump into the hot topic. I want to cool myself before I start the topic. I'm an emotional, passionate speaker. I don't want to lose my cool. I'm just giving you the striking contrast. Striking contrast. Correct? There can't be anything more contrasting than what we are experiencing in July. Last 2 days are terrific development. 7th and 8th of July, terrific development. Dilip Kumar passed away. Father Stalin Sami passed away. So many ministers have been shuffled across. So many development. But we will not go into politics. We will get into some of the recent development which are going to be of significant bearing on our profession, impact on our profession. What are they? We are going to know. We have our own defined skills and qualification, and we are capable of making our efforts, and we are competent to find out alternative modes of revenue. Now, the current development I want to highlight, you know, the profession has now undergone a registered value, new term has been defined under Companies Act, registered value rules, it has been changed. Registration under IBBA has come into play, right or wrong. 34AB also continues, though it is pretty limited now. And our valuation report, everybody appreciates, prices. Your valuation report is a critical, crucial basis for very important credit decision. All those things are very nice music to hear, but you must do everything at a very minimum fee, take up maximum risk. If documents are not there, still you must do it. You must find the way out. You should find out innovative means. We are listening, are tuned to listening to all advices. We are here to listen to everybody. Sir, you must do it for 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. Yes, sir. You must come to the branch, take the file, take the photocopy of the paper. Yes, sir. You should give the paper report tomorrow. Yes, sir. Visit. Yes, sir. 2 copies. Yes, sir. I mean, that's what our profession. I don't want to comment whether it is right or wrong. Our market is like that. And if you go wrong, if you miss out something, you correct and give it to me immediately. There's a lot of rampant accountability. Can't you see even the small things? And if Muthuraman sir does a valuation for 1,000 rupees, Ayyadurai goes and takes it for 800 rupees. Rampant mandate snatching. I not only derive a pleasure in doing it at 800, I'm very happy that Muthuraman sir has not got the valuation. I'm doubly happy. First, I'm happy because I got the valuation, 800. And second, I derive the happiness because I have snatched it from another valuer. And well, we don't want to talk about the ethics, and we can't change the service providers or controllers. We have to live with them. You can't choose your boss. We have very limited market scope within our own narrow zone, and we have limited jurisdiction with unlimited liability around. Correct? That's what is our professional sphere is today all about. I could be wrong. Some of you may find my language a little perhaps antagonistic or perhaps a little pessimistic or acidic. But the fact is, these are the qualities, the status of our valuation as I perceive it today from my point of view. I could be wrong. If anyone finds me wrong or think otherwise, my apologies to all of you. Now, can we go to next slide, Anbaragan sir? Yeah. As usual, like any other profession, our risks and returns are not free from any other headaches. Now, I will be now talking about certain important changes which are happening now, and a little brief about the alternative aspect. We should not entirely extensively valuation-oriented profession we should not have. We should also try our chances in other allied avenues. With our knowledge and with the current ability, we should look out for better alternative. I won't say better, other viable alternatives along with valuation. I'm not saying you should give up valuation. Valuation should not be the only one be all and end all. We should also be able to enjoy our revenue from other avenues also. Now, what are all the alternative options? We will see. First of all, for doing that, there are 3-4 things which are very important. You should be willing to travel, move out extensively, all out from your own state, and should develop, adopt, improve your knowledge and skills to adapt to new areas. For example, in one of the sessions a few months back, somebody was grumbling. All fellows from North, they are coming to Madras, sir. They are coming to do a valuation in Madras and Trichy. Just imagine, if a man from Rajasthan, Gujarat, Bombay, if he can come to our place to do the valuation, it should not be equally difficult for us to travel anywhere and do the valuation. It should be possible. And we should be all out ready to do that. The moment you crack the shackles of your geographical limitation of travel, I think sky is the limit. You must travel all over and should not stick to only one place. You must be able to take up job anywhere, right? And update yourself with the recent changes. I want to tell you one important change which you may please take note of. The Committee of Economic Affairs and all other issues, aspects pertaining to that, henceforth has been shifted. There is a recent Gazette notification which says that it is coming under Ministry of Finance. Previously, it was under Ministry of Commerce, but now it is under Ministry of Finance. Now, what's happening? MSME and all other industrial-related works will come right under Ministry of Finance now. Okay. Now, the Cooperation Ministry is newly formed. It is now integrated with the Home Minister. Now, let's not go into politics. What will it mean for valuer community? We will look at it. Now, what is MSME? All of you should be able to tell, should be able to be aware of that. What should be the maximum investment in plant and machinery? And what should be the turnover ceiling? 50 crores and 250 crores, whatever it is. You must be updating your knowledge and skill. What is micro, what is small, and what is medium scale industry? You should know the definition. You should know all the complication. Update yourself. I am telling you as a valuer, There are people in Chennai, of course in Chennai, in Gujarat, suppose you have got investment in plant and machinery up to 40 crores, 45 crores. You require another 10, 15 crores, but you want to remain within MSME cadre. People say that take some of the machinery on lease basis, make it off the balance sheet item. Come with innovative ideas. Come with innovative ideas. This is not difficult for we valuers to do. We are all basically shrewd engineers. We should know law. We should definitely learn the legalities, the definition, and innovative ways of advisory role. Now, I hope you are all aware of when the banks are asking for indemnity, those who are fighting against indemnity, you must know one more important development. The loan guarantee scheme has come into place now. In case there is a failure of loan, there is from 15 lakhs to 55 lakhs, there is a special loan guarantee scheme which has come into 2,66,000 crores have been allocated to that fund to just as a sort of an underwriting for the failed loans under MSME. Pre-pack has come into place under IBC. These are all the area there is enough scope for valuers to play the role. What we will see, they may not be connected with our main valuation path. That is not the main route. There are other additional knowledge you must attain, achieve, and then develop and put by. That will be very useful to you. Please read, update. Knowledge is power. There is no substitute to hard work. Once you know all those things, you'll be able to really be useful to you and to many other people. Anbu sir, next one, if you may. Yes. Now the first five things, the four things or five things: techno-economic viability, lenders independent engineering, adequacy of margin, agencies for special monitoring, insolvency professional or interim resolution professional. These five topics, we will keep it at the last because they are very tough topics. I don't want to go into the toughest topic because it will make the session a little really tough. And let us go into immediately accessible alternative avenues, easier avenues to begin with. Correct? We will definitely cover these 5 points a little later. So first and foremost, I would like to take an IRDA qualification, insurable value and insurance related work. Nowadays, for failure analysis and also for insurance, I'm not talking about insurance survey, which is meant only for insurance surveyor, licensed surveyor and loss assessor, SLA, surveyor and loss assessor, and that will be under IRDA license examination different. I'm telling something else. For example, if you want to insure a good, any goods, any equipment, or any asset, which are going to be insured under any process of law, maybe customs, maybe court, the insurable value will have to be declared. Even in bank, when you do the valuation of a housing loan or a civil or a machinery, they ask the valuer to give the insurable value. I'm not an insurance surveyor. Insurance surveyor will step in only when there is an accident, when there is a claim. For settlement only they will step in, not otherwise. The insurable value valuation is a very important thing, boss. Anything which is taken as a security by all leading guys, the insurable value is required. Even stock insurance, only an engineering is supposed to do. I don't know. Nowadays, I'm just giving you a small example. If anybody knows, please correct me if I'm wrong. 20 years back, I'm talking about 1990 to 2000. There used to be many insurance brokers. Suppose if there is an insurance company employee, his wife, his son, his daughter, his mama, chacha, bhatija, everybody will be insurance agent. I don't know whether you are aware. And they will be in touch with all the branch manager. Get all the assets insured and get commission. Every year. when the insurance is due, they will go and do. Today, what happened? Can anyone tell me the today's story? Banks have got a huge assets, primary and collateral security. They have to be insured. Who is insuring them? Any idea?
So everything is online, sir. It's going on online.
Okay, but what about brokers acting online? Agents acting online? Is it happening?
The bankers themselves are acting as agents.
Yes, there is a distinct shift. The banks have formed their own arrangement with insurance company directly. All their assets are directly insured. As a result, many agents are off the market. Just imagine. There is a very distinct shift in the service providers and service users market. The marketplace has undergone radical change. So all those who are living extensively on insurance broking business by earning commission, they have all been done to death in no time. All the insurance company, they have joined hands with the bank. They had a tie-up. Why do you have agents here? Whatever assets you have that, and it took so long a time for them to interact and join. It is happening, boss. Integration and mutual benefit. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. That is what this market is all about. So why I'm telling you, even now for insurable value, since insurance companies are interested parties, they have to get it valued outside. Why a housing loan insurable value is declared by a valuer? Because the banker will come to know how much it is to be insured only by you, your declaration. My declaration or your declaration, our declaration. In insurable value of big assets or even after an accident, a survey report value, you can always, wherever there is an accident, to assess apart from the insurer and the insured, there are occasions for the bank also to arrive at the insurable value. You can go to the bank and declare the insurable value, because there will be always a different angle. The insurable interest, the peril which is affected, against what are all the risks like fire, burglary, etc. Those are all different elements of insurance ingredient. A valuer will value the amount which is realizable by insuring it. That only a valuer can do. Please be in touch with all the banks wherever there is deterioration of stocks, deterioration of current assets. You have a big role. Whenever you find any company failing, please go yourself, take the interest and try to declare the insurable value, collect money. You have the chance, boss. I'm telling you, you have the chance. Second important thing, safety audit. Any accident, for example, in Mount Road or in Bombay or in Puda, one big advertisement hoarding board falls down on a scooter, he dies. Today, no advertisement hoarding can be erected without a certification from us. You have to register yourself with the municipality. You have to register yourself with the municipality. There is scope, boss. There is scope. And I can tell you the name of one valuer called Avinash Kulkarni. He stays in Nagar, Ahmed Nagar. He's in Maharashtra. He's a writer of article. Every Saturday he writes article. He has completed 50 such structural stability certificates. I am also telling you one more important opportunity. You hardly come across valuers who are revealing their avenues for revenues. Go to all bank premises, which are very old. They are now statutorily mandatorily required to get the stability, structural stability declared. Their auditor inspector will not spare them. Go and offer your services. You have chance. You have chance. All leading mills, steel mills, which are using crane, the crane stability certification is to be given by a mechanical engineer. It is mandatory. You have to get that certificate. It has to be given to the safety inspector and also to the factory inspector. What is the crane stability? The crane which will lift the heavy goods, put it into furnace or transport, will have a fatigue. There is a main beam which can accommodate only certain extent of deviation or bending. The moment it exceeds that, You have to point out, otherwise it will result in accident. This stability certificate of a crane will have to be given only by a mechanical engineer who are specialized in safety audit. This is mainly meant for mechanical engineers, and they have a good opportunity. They can go and market themselves with the safety auditors all over, and also with the units. Which you have to go. How to market? Go to the factory inspector. Go to the safety health inspector in the government department. You have to market, create a visibility for your services. Friends, these are all the general areas I wanted to take on as far as the number 2 is concerned. Next one, cost vetting. Friend, this has come to stay. It's a very, very important area. All leading syndicating chartered accountants and even banks which are lending for projects more than 25 crores worth assets, especially suppose there is a big unit, 40, 50 crores loan, which involves purchase of land and building, construction of building. The plot cost, okay, there is a document, they have purchased. The plot development cost and the building cost. Forget about machinery. Now I am a civil engineer, I will talk only about civil now. Many times we find in the bank proposal, friends, please appreciate what I am telling is something very important. The plot cost will be 10 crores. The plot development cost will be huge. There is a famous statement in Hindi or even in Tamil. Charana Murgi Barana Masala. Chundaka Kapanam Chamakoli Mukapanam. You know why the plot development cost is much more than the plot? Sometimes it is possibly proper and appropriate. If the plot is so bad, it requires conditioning, filling, leveling, or strata strength development, possible. But in all other cases, we want the cost to be fair. We want the cost to be proper. We want the cost to be reasonable. Whatever plot developmental activities, there will be a breakup given. Excavation, water removal. There's so many aspects of that. Filling, conditioning, murum, hard soil. Assuming it is a road project, DMM, WMM, semi-dense bituminized concrete up to painting level. All other activities, length-wise, quantity-wise, will be broken up into pieces and quantified, and the per unit rate will be declared and defined, and then the overall cost will be arrived at. So the man who takes the public money as loan from the bank should really use it for a genuine purpose. And how are we to ensure the genuine end use of the funds to be borrowed from the banks by the customer? You have to declare and certify the reasonableness, how fair, proper the cost is. Cost vetting is very important. If you do not monitor and keep track of the reasonableness of the cost, say for example, a plot of 5 crores, plot development 10 crores, if he really doesn't use the money for plot development and use it elsewhere, it is not difficult to raise a bill, take the money, route it and send it back to, it's not difficult. It will come back to you. You will make money in the capital expenditure only. Let's not give room for that. Cost vetting is very important. We engineers can only make out, declare, certify that the cost estimated by the customer for borrowing is fair, is reasonable, is proper. We are here to declare that. Only we can elucidate and deduce. In case we find it up, and I'm also telling you, boss, I'm telling you my experience. Sometime you may find me Adhiya Prasangi, Choti Mukh Badi Baat. Most of the leading projects, the excavation will always mean availability of free rock stones freely available for further construction which are in the civil site. But guys will take out the rocks, make stone and use it in the building and bill for the stones also. It is rampant. You can allow a cushioning of a few percentage, frankly discussing that, mentioning it in very clear terms. There could be a Sachin. 1 second, please. ये दरवाजा बंद कर दो, बहुत आवाज आ रहा है बाहर का. Thank you. Right. Coming to the point, we need to be very, very clear and qualify every one of your observations. And I'm telling you, if you observe things well, you will be the most preferred. And if you give some value addition in your report, if you make your report a little different from others' report, you will be counted, you will be acknowledged and recognized. And I'm very happy to tell you in this platform, last week we completed a massive assignment in Tamil Nadu for more than 2,000 crores. Some of the valuers who are with me have been associated with me in the valuation. The report was given to the service user. We have asked the status of that, whether you have accepted it. They were so very happy, so very happy. I received a mail today from them just a few minutes before our session that they have given me one more assignment. We have seen the first time a report of this size. Mind well, this is not a work done by me. I have not even visited. It was done by our colleagues. If you give some value addition in your report, other than your main area, a lead area, you will be definitely counted more, you will be acknowledged, you will be recognized, and you will be the most preferred valuer. Along with valuation, you must look out here and there. Plot development cost, please keep track. It is very important. How do you compare? You know the standard excavation cost. You know the standard filling material cost. You know the standard labor cost. Compare. If it is too much different, you write to them, call them for discussion, have a Zoom meeting, discuss along with the bankers. If they don't give proper reply, make a qualification. This appears on the higher side. It should have been only this much. Nevertheless, it is accepted on the face of it. This be accepted only after thorough evaluation. Qualify, nothing wrong in it. You should not be even unknowingly become a party to a lapse or a mistake in the entire process, for which you may or may not be responsible directly or indirectly. And that will make a lot of difference, my dear. Next is civil cost. I don't know to tell you. You know the cost of civil, starting from foundation up to painting, final finishing touches, RCC, PCC, whatever it is, plastering, ding dong, all those things. Quantify. It is a very useful thing. I'm telling you, you must have what is known as BOQ. Please remember, you study more on BOQ. What is BOQ? Bills on quantity, bills of quantity, all the material, duly quantified activity-wise, unit cost-wise, arrive at the overall cost. It's a wonderful job for all civil engineers. And all leading projects above 25 crores, it has now become mandatory for all banks before taking a credit decision, whether the cost is proper, fair, or reasonable. Please go and offer your services to all leading industrial advances branches of all the banks. Or any bank giving loan more than 25 crores, any construction involved, sir, should I certify the cost? Go and ask, offer your services. Not necessarily in Tamil Nadu, anywhere. Keep your persons. I'm telling you, I don't want to talk about any community or region. In all leading banks, I will not name any state or any region. If there is a proposal about 25 crores, much before their GM or DGM or AGM or any other processing officer, the valuers from a few states, they will only first to come to know and they will keep a track. Yeah, who is the customer here? What is the proposal? Is it under process? Yes. Just find out here whether there is any scope for cost cutting. That is the way they are proactive. It will be the talk in the market tomorrow, and please be in touch with all the chartered accountants, all the counselors and all the syndicators who only get the mandate from the customer and present to the bank. I'm telling you, this is an area where our knowledge has got good scope for being applied. It's a very good scope for being applied. Next one, Anbu sir. Next important thing, please be in touch with those leading lawyers who are definitely going to take up cases with disputed sites and properties. Please be in touch with the Bar Council. There may be, I'm telling you, some arbitration, there may be some dispute in the property. All on a sudden, somebody may claim their share and the overall property to be valued. Be in touch with all the lawyers. Those who are practicing in the court as lawyer and remain as valuer, they know the importance of that. It will be, there's a tremendous scope. I'm not talking about the rent, Rent Control Act, rental in Bombay and all in a few places, that is almost gone. And there's no much scope in that, although there are some old cases still going on. Otherwise, for example, if there is any death certificate, legal heir certificate, naturally, the valuation and partition bifurcation will come into play. And if there is a dispute, the court will ask you to do. Otherwise, also you can get the valuation done. It will become a recent, in recent Corona time, I'm very sorry to say, there's a lot of emotional outbursts, so I don't take up the valuation. Here, because of the sudden death of many people, so many valuation assignments for partition and inheritance, legal heirs certification, there, to decide the value on 1/3, 2/3, 4/4, whatever it is, as per the law. We have read the Succession Act in our RV exam. I don't know, it was the syllabus. If you have studied that, you will remember. Correct? And you need to give it to the lawyer. The lawyer cannot decide on that unless you declare the overall value. And there is good scope in this area also. The other day, one of my friends, he came to me for some work. One of his relatives, he died intestate and without any heirs. But the property, he was one of the claimant. His mother was a claimant. He wanted me to value the property. I did it free of cost. And the lawyer was telling me there is a lot of valuation. Can you do that? I said, I don't want to get into this. Somehow I got emotionally stuck. I referred it to some other valuer in Pune. In your area also, please be in touch with these lawyers. And this is another very good opportunity, a channel for valuation. And I'm telling you, sometimes they may not be knowing the right person. If you go and offer your services in a cost-effective way, you definitely stand a chance to get the valuations. And I'm very clear about it. Any questions on that? Anybody has any experience on that before I go to surface C?
Yes, sir. Of course, the friendship with
okay. Surface C nowadays, the valuation is done, and then 60 days notice under section 32, 34, all those things come. Normally, you don't get response from the defaulted customer, and then you go to either take the possession, whether notional possession or whatever it is. But at that time, the valuation is a must, you know that, and that is why they are asking surface C complaint or otherwise. Friends, let me tell you, there are 3 different stages of valuation under surface C. One is, in fact, I should have elaborated the surface C a little more in my slides. I forgot. The surface C is divided into 3 parts. 3 parts. One is SA. One is rather yes only, securitization. Second is AR. Second is it's very important, RFA. Securitization and RFA. What is RFA? Can anyone tell me the full form of surface C? In IVBI, there was a question on that with options. We have scored 1 mark, so now we have forgotten.
Financial assets.
And
financial assets.
Reconstruction of financial assets plus enforcement of security interest. If you worked in a bank, you would not forget this, right? So there are 3 stages in this surfaces are securitization. You know what it is? Something very interesting which you may or may not agree with me. Please remember, an advance with adequate security. What do you mean by that? the outstanding dues is less than the security value, where the asset value is more than liability. Secured advance. Definition 1921 of Banking Regulation Act. That also we have studied in IBBA. Now coming to the point, you can securitize an asset only if the asset value is more than liability. I'm telling you honestly, if you don't have a security more than outstanding dues, SARFAESI is not applicable. That was the rule once upon a time. It can be NPA, but the value of asset should be more than liability. Then only SARFAESI is applicable. It is always applicable to secured advance only. Something very strange. Something very strange. Do you always think so? When the dues are 10 crores, the value of security at least must be 10.1 crore. Then only SARFAESI is applicable. This was what the act was all about once upon a time. Otherwise, securitization is not possible. You know the meaning of securitization, I need not explain to you. Always the value under SARFAESI is quite often taken by the bank almost once in 6 months. And they don't remember. If you happen to know, please remember and remind them and get it done. In our place, Bombay, Pune, Maharashtra, everywhere, we know the date of valuation, we remind the branch, we do it ourselves, we get the money out. We diarize. Like an insurance policy, we diarize advance date due. Just to save them from any inspection or audit remark. They don't want to take up. Please remember. All the valuers. And I want to give you one more interesting statistics. There are many people outside Maharashtra, outside the Tamil Nadu, although it is predominantly hosted by 3 important branches of IOV in Chennai. Now, one is Puducherry, Tiruchirappalli, and other is Erode, right? These 3 branches are. I'll give you some interesting statistics, whether you like it or not. Well, I hail from Tamil Nadu, but I belong to Maharashtra. I am a Maharashtrian for all practical purposes. I have lived double my time in Tamil Nadu in Maharashtra. I have spent more than 40 years in Maharashtra and 20 years in Tamil Nadu. Why I am telling you this? I am going to give you an interesting statistics. It is not personal statistics, practical, prevailing, true reality. What is that? Out of total number of valuers, nearly 30 to 35 to 40% are only from Tamil Nadu. Be proud about it. But unfortunately, the number of valuation assignments and the valuation quantum business is less than 20% in Tamil Nadu. The scope and opportunities are outside Tamil Nadu more than inside Tamil Nadu. It's a fact of life. It has got nothing to do, nobody is responsible for that. The extent of industrialization, the number of valuers, the competition, the lending environment, and the lending scope and potential, they are different for different states. Correct? Why I am telling you, under SARFAESI, more the advances, more the SARFAESI incidents, more the SARFAESI incidents, more will be the stage-wise valuation required. Reconstruction of financial asset, whenever there is a slippage in the value, destruction of the value, when you try to reconstruct either by QIF, qualified institutional finance investors, or change in management by enforcing security interest. When you want to really implement the entire provision sections of SARFAESI, valuation is required in many stages, and you will be playing a. I'll tell you, the more you get into the advisory role, apart from doing a mere valuation, get into the advisory role. Go to the bank, keep track of all leading SARFAESI assignment in that branch, advise the customer, advise the branch, you stand a chance to get more valuation. You'll be able to create a better visibility and presence in the market, in the finance market. Go to that level. Go to that level. Any questions on that before I go to the next topic?
Sir, audience generally they cannot unmute.
Next thing, subsidy certification. Friends, there are many projects like textile or even steel, cement, cold storage, dairy, milk and milk products, lock and whatever subsidy, you are eligible, entitled to get many subsidy, insulated industries. The other day I was having a project TEV, subsidy is rampant, huge. And now, mind well, the subsidy is given especially for construction of building and machinery. CapEx subsidy will be available for some specific project in backward area. They may have given an estimate in the cost of the project while availing loan towards a peculiar brand of machinery, cost and all. Whatever is given and loan is taken against, whatever is subsidy claimed by the borrower with the concerned department, they should match. I may have decided to buy a Crompton motor. I may have bought an LG motor. The price will have to be different. In short, what I am trying to tell you, boss, the subsidy is not given against the loan availed. The subsidy is given against the real asset value for which the loan is given. I hope you understand the difference what I am talking. And that certification can be done only by plant and machinery valuers in the case of machinery. If there's any change in brand, change in scope, change in potential of the very project, you have a sugar mill, you'll have a ball mill. Instead of ordinary ball mill, you'll go for a planetary ball mill. Different product. Instead of rubber bucket elevator, some other elevator. Instead of 2-stage crushing, 3-stage crushing. Instead of 5 HP motor, 10 HP motor in one row. There will be so many changes in scope for good or bad reason. But the subsidy which is given to the promoter should be for the appropriate purpose, underlying purpose. That has to be certified only by valuers. Please, all the banks are now directed to get a certificate from a chartered engineer that whatever subsidy is claimed for the assets created out of your loan is exactly in line with the eligibility of subsidy under the scheme. Please get it certified. Please get it certified. Very important, boss. This is a very good area where mechanical engineers can play a vitality. Even CapEx under civil, they may have estimated 10 crores, but some compound wall, road, etc., they may not have incurred. In all sugar unit in Maharashtra, can anyone correct me? I'll be happy to be corrected. At the time of construction, gestation, they say there'll be a go down costing so much. But I'm telling you, there are sugar mills which are 10 years old after COD, commercial production. Even today, they are having a beautiful wooden roof with polythene bags. Even today, after several years. Where is the loan gone? Where is it used? Even today, I'm telling you, several sugar mills are storing in the go down the sugar bags in ordinary temporary structure. They may be strong, waterproof, fine. But that is not what the loan was intended to be given for, to ensure genuine end use of funds borrowed from the bank. Subsidy certification is very important, boss. This valuer has got a good role to play. Coming to next point, IBC valuation, I don't want to get into detail. You know very much who are the IP, who are all the IRP, whom to contact, how to cover him. You know it better. But friends, before so doing, how do you know who is going to get what? Go to the IBC website. Don't keep on hanging around with the RP and IRP. I am also an insolvency professional. I am also an insolvency professional, but I am telling you some harsh reality. If I want to give one valuation to Mr. Ariel, even if I want to give it to Mr. Ariel, the bank will decide whom to give. And I cannot go beyond what the bank tells me. Otherwise, the bank can remove me also. Correct? In IBC, the RP or IRP can be changed by the COC.
COC. Yes,
so
sir.
I can't remain antagonist. I need to listen to them. They will say, yeah, that valuer has given this value to valuer. Leave it to us. We will only decide. What the rule says, the IP has to select the RV by getting quotation, least one. All these things are good to listen to. but L1 will be ensured by COC. Okay. Correct? So that's the way things go. So what I'm trying to tell you, know from the website, which are all the CARP, Corporate Insolvency Resolution Process, admitted. The petition is admitted, the next day you get it in IBBA website. Who is the lead banker, you will come to know. Go and approach the banker directly, don't go to RP. Because the bank is going to remain, appoint an IRP. If anybody, and please be in touch with all the legal recovery department of the SARB or whatever it is, Stressed Assets Recovery Branch of all the banks. If you want to improve your portfolio in IBC, please go to them and request them, create your visibility. Maintain rapport. I'm not telling you to give any gift and hospitality. Maintain rapport. Keep on calling on them, highlight your ability, competency, try to get assignment from them. They can help you out. I'm telling you, there is a famous statement in Tamil. All this sand, they're all come out of stones only. Tannir paindu vandal kallum karayum. If you keep on knocking the door of the recovery department, they will think, yeah, this man has come 3-4 times. Let's give him some job. Correct? Otherwise, he will feel very bad. Correct? And that's the way you must take on. Right, Raja? And you can also have your presence marked with NCLT. Go occasionally, whenever there is hearing in Company Law Board, National Company Law Tribunal. I'm telling you, there are certain occasions where NCLT can directly call for a valuer and do the work. I don't know, last year I got a call from NCLT Bombay from one of their technical member. He said that, can you come so-and-so date? I was shocked. Yeah, something is wrong with one of my valuations for IBC. The court is calling, I got panicky. Then I asked them, what is it regarding? No, nothing wrong with your valuation. We want to get your some say on some valuation. Not this valuation, we want to give you some more valuation. I was very happy. I went the next day immediately. Under section 46(2), apart from bank and RP, the court can directly appoint a valuer. These are the special powers given to court. Only under this section they can. Supposing if they find that the valuation done by the bank or RP is not up to the mark, IBC section 46(2) permits or authorizes the court to call you to get a valuation for any undervalued transaction. Friends, in IBC, I want to talk about a few things. There are certain assets which are sold at very funny value, dirty value. What I mean by that, they are undervalued in the past. For example, I am a defaulter. I know I am going to become insolvent. What I do, I sell some of my assets to Mr. Muthuraman. My factory main guest house costing 2 crores. I sell it to Mr. Muthuraman for only 50 lakhs. Okay. I don't have to tell anything else beyond. When I say 2 crores worth of assets sold for 50 lakhs, Muthuraman has to pay me something else. Otherwise, we have an understanding. And after selling my major assets at a low value, I get away with the nonsense, right? I declare myself as insolvent. The petition is admitted. RP is coming. He is taking stock of the valuation. Now 2 crores worth asset is already missing from the whole memorandum of assets. Yael comes to do the valuation. Yael says the total value available, just like Videocon, it is only 5% of the claim. Everybody starts crying because most of the assets are already gone for a paltry price. Friends, in IBC, section 43 to 49 deals with such avoidable transaction: preferential, undervalued, extortionate, and fraudulent. These transactions, if they are done with fraudulent intent, malafide intent, the court can reverse it. So before buying any assets of the company, take care. If you're, it is like, if somebody sells you very cheap, don't buy it. After some years, the sales will be reversed. Take care. I'm telling you, you must be aware of what is prevailing outside. When you are on RP, you must know all the provisions of RP. Not that I'm talking because I have become an RP. But what is the impact on your profession? Please know to that extent. How will you know that the asset was costing 2 crores and it was sold only at 50 lakhs? How would you know whether 2 is okay or 50 lakhs is okay? Only a valuer like you and me can tell. This will be subjected to forensic audit, transactional audit, which is a must. Please don't go to ERP for valuing assets. Go to the auditor and get from him any valuation scope is there, sir, for any undervalued, extortionate, preferential, fraudulent transaction. I can do the valuation. What is this assignment is all about? This is applicable only for 2 years or 1 year period. Whatever sale transaction which has happened on that date of sale, whether that value is okay or not, you have to do. Then only you will be able to know whether it is undervalued. Is it not? Whether I have sold my assets of 2 crores to Muthuraman at 50 lakhs 2 years back. 2 years back on that date, it must be really costing 2 crores and I have sold it for 50 lakhs. Whether it is undervalued or not, only I will be able to tell to the forensic auditor. And based on my certification only, the forensic auditor or transaction auditor will be able to conclude something. Please be in touch with all forensic auditors. Please be in touch with all transactional auditors. You stand a very good chance to get assignment. Please write down. And I'm going to share this slide with every one of you. I want everyone to get engaged in all other related avenues. And I want a day when it is my dream. I hope my dream comes true. I want all valuers not to remain at the mercy of bank alone. I want the banks to come after valuer and not valuers to go after banks. It should be valuers market and not bankers market. And I want to see the day. I am telling this from the heart, my heart, from the bottom of my heart. Because I was not only a valuer, I was a banker also. But when I was a banker, we used to treat the valuer with great amount of dignity. Now I am a valuer on the other side of the table. I am at the receiving end, unfortunately. Yes, sorry for the emotional personal remarks. So these are all under 46.2 valuation. 46.2, in case the undervalued transaction has got any dispute, the court can ask the valuer directly to take up the valuation. NCLT can call the valuer and give you the assignment. And there are some very specialized valuation assignment, a massive land of 500 crores in Gujarat or some precious jewelry. All those things may not be of our area, but there are certain areas, I don't know, boss. In IBC, there is a section 166 or something. I don't remember the section. I also passed the exam, so I forgot. But I'll tell you the subject content. Content is there are some assets which has value, but you can never realize. Funny enough, is it not? Suppose if Dawood Ibrahim possesses a plot in the prime area in Bombay, even if you ask for the bid and all, nobody will be venturing to quote for that. And there are certain assets which are suffering from a lot of legal disability. By the time you cure and then realize the value, the cost of curing will be more than the asset value itself. The cost of curing such disability. These assets are defined in IBC as onerous property. Onerous property. I believe, if I'm not wrong, the section is 166 or something. I'll tell you by the end of the session. Or if anybody can Google up and tell me onerous property, I'll be happy. Under IBC, onerous, ONEROUS. Why I'm telling you this onerous is something important. How do you know whether it is onerous or not? The valuer has to declare. The valuer has to declare. Right, Raja, these are all the NCLT related scope. Coming to the next point, is
Section 160, sir.
Regulation Act. Yes, what is the section section number?
160, sir. 160.
You have to unmute yourself, I think.
Yes, sir, I unmuted. It's section 160, sir. 160.
160. Okay. Great. Chalo. I'm happy. I'm remembering at least around in and around the section number, if not the exact number. Anyway, coming to RERA, the certification is, most of you have come across RERA, the percentage progress, physical progress, financial progress will have to be certified by an engineer or architect only. Only he will only do that. For example, if anybody goes to RERA for registration of a project, I hope most of you are aware RERA registration is a prerequisite for all real estate project business model above certain square feet and above certain number of members. 160, thank you. 160, correct. You are right. Onerous asset. Now coming to RERA, RERA is very important. Friends, let me tell you something very interesting. Very interesting. The extent of progress, the change in plan, the extent of period, gestation period. For example, in Madras at Mount Road, there is 1 acre plot. Somebody wants to construct a 36-storied old big plot, big building, commercial mall in just 1 year time, 18 months time, 24 months time, 36 months time. Whether it is feasible, whether the time frame is acceptable, you have to evaluate and tell. RERA is appointing consultants. And RERA itself presupposes the provision is there in the Act that certain progress will have to be certified by certified engineers, architects. They have to sign. They don't distinguish between architect and engineer. Both can sign. Please register RERA. Again, another very good scope. If you know the government department, maintain license, there is good scope for you. There is very good scope for you. There is very great scope for you. And I want you to please look out for all these opportunities. It is all related, allied, not different. Next important point, boss. If there's any change in scope and plan, under RERA, it requires the majority of the flat owners to accord their approval. And somebody should represent them. An architect will represent what are all the prospects and consequences of any such plan, change in plan. You can represent. There are scope. Maybe, I don't know about in Tamil Nadu, Chennai, in this place, there is tremendous. In Maharashtra, it is there, boss, enough. And realignment of gestation period, especially in the post-pandemic scenario, is again an engineer's job. The time frame, implementation schedule, bar chart, certification, it is entirely an engineer's job. Any questions on that, please? Is there any question on this?
Sir, audience as such cannot ask questions, sir, unless specifically I unmute them. They can post their question on the Q&A box, sir. Only the panelists can unmute themselves. Audience, we have to only unmute them, sir. We will have it at the end, sir, because we are already.
But ask them to. Yeah, I'm short of time. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll rush up. FACR is fixed assets coverage ratio. Is another interesting issue, and only a valuer can do that. The entire fixed assets with respect to liability. This certification is required for all listed companies, especially debentures and all. Recently, I told you, just in last week, we have concluded a massive valuation for FACR, fixed assets coverage ratio. The land and building, plant and machinery, the value which you declare should be able to cover the borrowing. This ratio certification value only plays a role. For example, if a debenture is issued by many investors, there will be one common trustee, debenture trustee, to ensure FACR. He will evaluate the FACR and he will take the valuation from a valuer like us. If you register with all debenture trustees, especially listed companies, going in for debentures or bond market, FACR certification can be by valuer. Now, post 1/11/2020, 1st November 2020 के बाद, उसके after that, all the debenture issuers, debenture holders, their debenture trustee will have to certify every year the FACR. So valuers will have a lot of role. In LAR, that is, this is all about the FACR, I would say that. And the LAR are, I mean, Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation, Resettlement Act, the environmental impact assessment by the committee, you definitely you stand a chance to play a role in that. And the compensation payable, there'll be many disputes, you play a role in that. You know the rules under LAR. What is that? How much is the compensation maximum payable if it is urban or rural? How many times the ready reckoner rate? Or what are all the other aspects? You know that. The trees, the building, or anything else. And who are all the affected person, you can also define. Under LAR, I hope you know who are all the affected person. Even a rental man is eligible for compensation. The lessee is eligible for compensation, not the landlord alone. Even an easement holder is eligible for compensation. So you should be able to distinguish one from the other. The solatium calculation, again, you can also play a role. As a valuer, you only should take the lead. And if you maintain your own amiable rapport and liaison with authority, you'll be able to do a great role on that. Next one, sir. Anbu, sir. Right. Yes, this I have covered the forensic in undervalued and fraudulent. And I've also covered the DPR. I mean, any new detailed project report, if the cost is required to be re-estimated, you play a role on that. All infra projects of PWD, state or central, whether it is a EPC or a hybrid annuity model or build, operate and transfer model, the IE, the independent engineer, he will always certify the physical progress and financial progress. For example, if there is a road of 36 kilometers with various activities, starting from cleaning and grubbing up to final road, up to roughness indication test, roughness test also. All these are definitely outsourced. For example, if you offer certain, I have seen a valuer in civil engineer in Kotkapura, that is in Punjab, when I went for an LI of a, that valuer is a specialist in soil strength. He's a specialist in roughness indication. You know how the roughness in the road is calculated. There is a meter for that. And he knows all those aspects. I learned a lot of things from him. And PWD IE, independent engineer, be in touch with him. He could be very useful to you. Normally, those big officers, when I say big, they don't work. They get the work done. That is why they are big. You as a valuer can contribute. And you can also do the stock audit of the BOQ. How much asphalt is there? How much stones are there? All those things, you can certify the quantity. Supposing there is a pending road project which is to be completed, how much more material cost required to be incurred? Only you can compute. Only you can compute. Not an architect, an engineer, civil engineer can compute. How much WMM, DMM, SDBC, DBM, dense bituminized, and SDBM, and how much is pending? All those things you have to calculate unit-wise, length-wise, quantum-wise, cost-wise. You have a role to play. Unless so much additional loan is given, this project cannot be completed. There are so many projects which are delayed. Nowadays, there is no LD. Liquidated damages is not there because Corona, workers availability. But otherwise, you have to quantify the LD. Who can do it? You can do it. How much is the work pending in terms of cost? You only will be able to value. You can help the IE, independent engineer, to know, value it. Because how? There will be two parties. The executing customer on behalf of banker and the PWD government departmental pupil. Both of you can discuss each other and settle. instead of arriving at a debate or a dispute. Correct? Fine. Next important point, customs. Any imported second-hand machinery or otherwise, any machinery which is imported for mechanical engineer, without a chartered engineer certificate, the bill of lading cannot be cleared. All of you are aware. I think some of you, if they are any plant and mechanic machinery valuer, they will be able to appreciate this. Without a chartered engineer certificate, the customs clearance is impossible. They have to, the fees may not be more, but once you maintain a great license rapport, you have a very good opportunity. What I'm telling, apart from capital gains and bank valuation, typically, there are several avenues available to you. Structural stability, all old buildings, I've already covered this point. Advertisement hoarding, you have a role to play. Arbitration, if you want to arrive at an amiable value for arbitration, all arbitration courts nowadays, there is a degree available in arbitration. It doesn't matter if you qualify for that also. Scope is enhanced. For example, in certain detailed process note, for example, if the civil cost or any other machinery cost, the input to output cost is predominantly done only by the valuer. How much is the capex? How much is the subsidy available? How much is the serviceability? Only a valuer does it. Only the valuer does it. And the next important point, Companies Act valuation. Suppose if a company wants to wind up, there's a voluntary liquidation. Suppose if I want to wind up a company, they can pass a resolution that I want to wind up with 2/3 majority, as long as the company's assets are adequate to cover its liability. How would you know? Apart from audited balance sheet, a valuer's report of all the assets will have to be tabled, will have to be put before the board of the company. And it has to be passed with 75% majority. And if it is a listed company, the valuation has significance, substantial significance. No company can be wound up if its assets are less than the liability. Otherwise, it will go to insolvency, CARP. Am I right? Fine. And inventory valuation is a very big topic, boss. Only plant and machinery people do that. They know the costing, first in, first out and all. Anbu sir, what is the time out? How much time I have to dwell on the topic? Because it is now.
Sir, the session is from 6 to 8, sir. So maybe we have to take questions also. We need 15 minutes for that. And for closing remarks and all, we need 5 minutes. So 7:40, if we could finish the presentation, that would be nice, sir. We can cover it.
What is the time now?
Another 15 minutes, sir, to finish the presentation.
Okay, how many slides more are there in another? How many?
I don't remember, sir, but I think the other slides are simpler, sir. Maybe one slide after.
Okay, great. Now, inventory valuation is something very important, boss. I want you to please understand. Supposing I've got, say, a raw material, maybe steel or cement, or maybe a chemical. I'm talking about, I'm trying to explain first in, first out. You know, the steel prices, they go very fluctuating. You know that. Suppose I buy 35 rupees per kilo in the month of January. In the month of February, it is 40 rupees. And in the month of June, it is 45 rupees. I got 10 tons, 20 tons, 30 tons in all these 3 months. The stocks are lying here. Now, today, the price have come below, say, assuming it may be 50 or it may be 35, whatever it is. Let us assume anything funny, cranky, because the market cannot be controlled by you and me. But I have to declare the valuation for the purpose of enforcement and realization or the security extent available. Normally, we follow one method in the past, first in, first out, or last in, first out, whatever it is. But today, we are following the method at cost. Whatever is the price at which it is saleable today, only that price I will take. I don't want to know about at what price it was purchased, how the price movement was there. It is of no meaning to me. So today the stock valuation is at cost as on today, and it is declared so that in case you decide to sell it and liquidate, you'll be able to get that much money. That's it. So it is very important for while we are doing the RA bills, running account bills, The valuation is done at cost. This can be done only by engineers, whether it is civil or mechanical. Only they can do that. And this will decide the margin adequacy. For example, if a man says that I have got stocks worth 10 crores, whether he has really got stocks worth 10 crores or not, you must be convinced. Then only he will be eligible for further loan from the bank. The adequacy of margin, how much money he has invested to bring in that asset, that can be established only by the valuation of the asset which he is holding, inventory which he is holding. I'm not talking about building value, land building. I'm talking about the stocks, the current assets, the inventory, civil construction inventory, the physical progress and the financial progress. The status declaration can be done only by a valuer. Suppose there is a big factory with civil cost of 100 rupees. Yes, to bring in 20 rupees, 80 rupees loan from the bank. Now, if he has got stocks worth 25, 25 is financed partly by the promoter equity, partly by the bank's loan. And how much is pending? If out of 100 he has already completed work 25, then the physical progress is 25. Supposing he has got stocks worth 35, 10 is unpaid, is under credit, the financial progress may appear to be 35, but again it is only 25. Are you getting my point? This is a typical example I am giving you. There is a civil construction business model of total cost of 100 rupees. Forget about bank finance or own capital, own equity. Out of this 100 rupees, there is stocks worth 35 lakhs are available. If 25 lakhs are paid by the customer or bank, then the financial progress is only 25 plus 10 credit. Creditor is another source. The bank loan and the credit are same. The bank loan and the credit are same. The financial progress is 35. But how much is constructed? Only 25 lakhs are constructed, 10 lakhs is lying unused. The physical progress is 25, the financial progress is 35. The reasons for 10% difference is it is creditors. So you know how much is the creditors to be paid, and the creditors are to be paid by which source? Either promoter's equity or bank loan. In what proportion they are to be paid? As originally envisaged in the cost of the project. This is a very important margin adequacy exercise where engineers can play a very good role. And I am telling you, out of my total earnings as a monitoring agency, I get more my income revenue only from this area. If you are merely sticking to technicalities and engineering knowledge, it may not be adequate. It is necessary to get into legal, financial, and other allied areas. That is the main objective of allowing you to study so many things in your RB exam. Anbu sir, next slide, if we may rush through. Yes, evaluation of cost and time overrun. How much is the pending cost? As per the bar chart or your implementation schedule, how much more is the time to take to complete the project? Friends, mind well, one important thing I'm going to tell you in bankers' language, very important language, you may be aware of COD or DDCO. What is COD? Commercial Operation Commencement Date. If you are giving a loan for a project, say about 18 months or 2 years time, the COD date, the final date will have to be clearly defined. If for some reason it is not able to get completed, you can seek extension. The extended date will be the revised COD, Commercial Operation Date. On that date, if it doesn't happen, then the account will be declared as substandard, NPA. Even if you pay the loan amount correctly, if you don't start, technically it is declared as NPA. The bank will charge penal interest and they will make provisions in their books of accounts. So how long it will take, how much is the extension required to be given, this will be decided by you engineers, B engineers, which is called the cost overrun and time overrun. If there is any increase in the cost escalation, then perhaps additional loan will have to be thought of by the bank. You have to decide what is the extent of increase, escalation. You have to decide as an engineer. Very important job for you engineers. And you play, if you really positively contribute with your knowledge and visibility with the lenders, you can play a wonderful job on that. And the credit and technical audit is a little off the track. I won't say it is elite, but you can still stock audit and technical audit, you can say. For example, if you have changed the model, if you have changed the wrong technology, you can pinpoint. And all statutory compliances certification you have to give. Approved plan is there, NA non-agricultural conversion is there, layout is authorized, where it is appearing, figuring in the Reginet, TN Reginet, whether Pata reveals his name, where the area is okay, the boundary is okay, the dimension is okay, you have to declare. Whether it is adequately insured, insurance policy is covering what risk, height clearance from airport authorities, whether insurance policy fire risk is covered, all those things you have to certify. The bank will expect the valuer to certify. And LIE, a lender's independent monitoring engineer to certify. You have to certify. Correct. There is another area called the credit monitoring arrangement and project report preparation for cost input to output. The valuer has a big role you can definitely take on. Demand supply data of a select industry. For example, cement price movement or steel price movement, you as a valuer, you know it better. You are not just a valuer, you are in the construction industry, you monitor. And okay, the next 2 point, industry average input output, I won't attach too much of an importance for the valuers, but it is definitely necessary. For plant and machinery valuer, the fuel economy, the thermal economy, and power efficiency audit, you play a vital role. Whether the performance is guaranteed by the supplier of the machinery. Suppose you take a cold storage business model. Somebody is giving on a turnkey project the entire cold storage. The performance of the compressor, the deep freezer will have to be guaranteed. There has to be uninterrupted power, or otherwise for power interruption, there should be good breakup. Otherwise, if you store perishable material and if there is power interruption, you are gone. In Punjab, today because of power cut, many cold storage units, many perishable items are gone. Rampant insurance claims are on there. Terrific. So you have to get the guarantee, performance guarantee from the supplier of machinery. You as a valuer can decide and insist on that, advise the banks. You should tell whether there is a special insurance available for power interruption. All those things you should take care. Friends, next slide, if you may go.
Sir, you have left that TEV and LIE part, sir.
Okay, TEV I will avoid because it is more of a financial this one, but LIE, lenders independent engineer, big projects above 25 crores, and engineer is called upon to do the monitoring. Starting from day one till it is achieving the commercial production, the various expenses incurred, whether it is line with the envisaged, originally contemplated cost with the margin at every stage, the implementation schedule, the cost overrun, the time overrun, all those things in line with the BOQ. For example, if there is a road project, you start with cleaning and grubbing, land acquisition, land excavation, DMM, dry method. See, there are a lot of things, WMM, I mean, you know all those civil engineering part of it. You have a chainage wise, length wise chart, and you should know all the activities, all the cost of inputs of all the material in each activity, the unit cost and the total estimated cost BOQ is made available. You must exactly know under each head of the activity, how much is the progress, how much is the cost incurred, what is the margin by the promoter, what is the loan by the bank. And there is some curve called S curve. S curve is very important. Can anyone tell me what is S curve all about? Can anyone tell me, sir? I am just going to explain to you. For example, in India-Pakistan match, Pakistan batted first, 200 runs. India is batting second. Whether they are above the curve or below the curve, you will know. It is promise vis-a-vis performance. What you have originally contemplated in terms of time schedule and cost incurred, what is actually happening? January, February, March, every month, what should be the percentage of physical progress? And in actual, what is the progress? You superimpose one curve with the other and know the extent of deviation, whether you are falling short of your time schedule or not. That is what is all about S curve. Plotting of S curve with all activities individually is a wonderful exercise. Only we engineers can do this better and no one else. And I'm telling you, these are all enchanting areas. And once you stabilize in all these alternative areas, friends, I'm sure you will not take up bank values. You will not take up bank. ASM is absolutely, you have to have a chartered accountant or a trained financial eye, an ex-banker with you, agency for special monitoring. That is every business cycle, how much raw material you buy, how much you convert, how much you sell, what is the margin. You are online, you are monitoring the progress. This is necessary for all big projects. ASMs are appointed by IBA, Indian Banks Association. If you are a seasoned engineer in civil with cost knowledge, you can, some of you may be ASM, I don't know, and you can take up, but that's a very tough job, highly paying job. But then once you take 1 or 2 ASM, you won't be able to do any other work because you are highly answerable, liable to keep a keen track of the special monitoring agency work. And Anbu sir, is there any time left or can we leave it to the questions?
Yes, sir. We have another 3 minutes left, sir.
Okay. So friends, this is my personal experience. Yeah, I'll conclude. I would only like to tell you that I have only dwelled upon, I've thought about or explained something which I have experienced in my life. These are all the path I have traveled. Honestly, I was a valuer long back, but even now I am a valuer. But I tend to get into all other allied areas in large measures. That helps me to tone up myself and also enjoy my stay in the visibility, creating a visibility in other areas also, in other spheres also. I mean, not that everybody should follow my footprint, but I don't say I'm a great success and all. Yes, I am academically interested and inclined. I have a lot of desire to learn more. But what I'm telling, those who are around 40, 50, 60, they can still have a long way to go. And I still feel that you must indulge in all other related allied activities. It is like when you are a farmer, you grow some chickens also, chicks also. You do some, you can take a goatry also. You can have a cattle line also. Like that, when you are a valuer with engineering knowledge, you should always look out for some allied collateral other work also. It is the overall interest. It is not advisable to keep all the eggs in one basket. It's pretty risky. I can tell you an example of a story of when I was doing my TEV, I came across a techno-economic viability study in the year 2001 or 2002, I don't know. There was a big unit, fruit processing unit. It was supplying to a very big Hindustan Unilever, a very big customer. And they were very successful. Turnover was very good. And the margin was very good. They were performing very well. I could not find any adverse point. But at last, at the end of the thing, before I signed, I don't know, I'm a man believing in astrology and intuition. Something stopped to me. Yeah, there is something wrong, something wrong, something wrong. I just wrote, it is depending on only one customer. They were supplying exclusive to Hindustan Unilever. In case they stop buying, the unit will not be able to have such a large market. I can tell you the name of another customer called Hind Condenser. They make the condensers. They make the condensers. Condensers means, capacitors, what it is all about. In railway bogie, in air-conditioned plant, there'll be a big capacitor in all AC bogies, right? AC. And the railways form more than 90-95% of their business. When I was asked to do the viability study, I was very happy to do that because their plant, one plant was in Rishikesh, another was in Haridwar. I took the TV because I could go and take a Ganga Snanam there in Haridwar and Rishikesh. That is why I said yes. I went. But then when I came back, I definitely wrote single customer centric business is risky. Suppose if railways don't buy, they'll be in problem. Friends, mind well, railways stopped to the purchase from Hind Condenser, and Hind Condenser has failed miserably. The other fruit juice unit, I don't want to name them. They were extremely Unilever dependent unit, Hindustan Unilever. They stopped buying. In fact, it was under pledge limit. Bank thought it is very safe, but bank held the stocks in pledge. It perished, tomato puree and tomato, and there was a huge loss, not only for the customer, but for the bank also. So the point I am trying to drive home, let us not remain extremely bank valuation centric. Let us not be entirely dependent on bank valuation alone. We should spread our risk to other areas. That is only but intelligent, prudent, and a diligent way of performing or professing or remaining in our profession. I'm not discouraging you to give up bank valuation. That's not my objective or message. My message is very clearly, I'm telling you, please don't depend on one avenue for your revenue. Have many other alternative options. There is a famous statement in Indian culture. You should have Stepney for everything in life, excepting wife, in lighter vein. I want to conclude with that remark. So my thanks to all of you for your kind audience. And I would like you to kindly interact and please ask your questions. I would like to share what little experience I have in that. If you may, please. If there's any question, if, Mr. Anbu may.
Sir, one few questions posted in the QA box.
Achha.
And the first one is from Karthikeyan from Karur, sir.
Kannayan Karthikeyan. Okay.
Kannayan Karthikeyan from Karur.
Need a little bit details on stability certificate for hoist safety auditor. I am a competent person. If you are a competent person, then great. So you should be able to tell me if you are a competent person under section 28, 29, and 22 of Practice Act. Great. Right. Boss, you want to know on hoist as a safety. Okay. This is a subject by itself. I can go into details, pretty technical. There are standard reference deviation, permissible reference deviation available. If you exceed that, you must switch on the red light. You must raise the flag and declare that it is dangerous. You know the standard stability parameters. The moment you exceed that, you deviate from that. For example, I know the number of degrees where there can be bending available on crane. I was insurance advisor for a company called Kalyani Steels, Bharat Forge in Pune. You will be surprised to know the insurance advisory job was I casually went and found huge hundreds and hundreds of tons of, massive billets lying here and there. They were all heavily insured for the banks. I said, don't insure, stop insuring that. Even if somebody wants to steal, he cannot steal it. Because even if you want to duly remove it, you have to spend a lot of energy and terrific exercise to do that. So we stopped giving insurance, and the bank also objected, but they realized 2,000, 3,000 tons of steel produced every year, every month. What is the point in insuring them? Nobody can touch it, steal it. There can't be burglary on that. So the one which lifts, the crane which is used to lift, it will have a maximum tolerable bending in any crane. The moment the degree exceeds that, we have the standard, this one, the moment we find a deviation more than that, then we ring the bell. We tell them it is unsafe to continue with the existing crane. Please change the main frame. We have to tell them and they have to change it. Otherwise, it can break, fatigue, it can result in accidents. This we always do from safety point of view. Anything else? Changes for different services. Sorry, yes, Anbu sir.
Charges, sir. He is asking for the charges.
Charges, sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't see it properly. It will be better than bank valuation. Retail bank valuation. Friends, these are all rare areas where the opportunities may be rare, far and few. But if you maintain license, I can tell you one simple example. When I became an IP, somebody came to me to fill up on Form A, the main petition and some annexures. I said, what is there to be? Okay, it's a tough job. It's not an easy thing. I have completed the work. I thought I would get whatever fee he pays. I thought he would pay me some 5,000, whatever it is. There were 3 forms he gave me. He paid me 25,000. I was shocked. But that form is, yes, filling is tough. But I find the valuation job is definitely less remunerative than these jobs which I spoke to you all this time. It can be mutually discussed and settled, Mr. Sudeep Tangsali Saab. I think if you have a sweet tongue, maybe a Gujarati tongue, you can discuss and settle a higher fee. And they are the masters in negotiating. Hats off to them. It's not a complaint, it is a compliment. Nagarajan Ramaswamy sir, how can we assess the correct market value of land, sir? Oh. Anbu, you should be able to answer this question better. Land, of course, you have many bases, boss. The purpose, what is the purpose of the valuation, if I may know? Anyway, the actual live deal in the recent past and in the recent vicinity, that should be the best basis rather than 99acres.com or indiaproperties.com, etc. Don't go in for that. That will be the best way to, and I mean, go around with that to get the correct market value. And there is nothing called correct value. Value itself is a guess only. It is an estimate. And you should be as close to the actual value as possible. There could be always some difference, boss. Any other
sir, there is a value add.
Yeah.
Regarding the bank valuation, what are the do's and don'ts with the bankers, sir?
Anbu sir, you are ready to extend the session time?
Murugesan sir is the master of today's
you must respect that, because the number of sessions are too frequent and too many. Recently, there was a session a couple of days back. Some speaker told very nicely, no session is free. You have to give your attention and time for listening to. Not only one's time, but all people's time. The question may be a good question. I would definitely, but the time frame within which you want to confine may not be possible. Murugesan, you were saying. Mr. Murugesan, sir.
Sir, if you could answer,
briefly, I will answer.
Say a few words.
Yeah, the bank valuation, sir, let us be very clear. You must confine the validity of acceptability of the valuation. I believe in that. Suppose if a bank valuer asks you to give a valuation, suppose if you go to bank and ask for sanction, I would put it this way, it's my personal viewpoint. If you go for a loan to the bank may or may not consider. If they consider, they say yes. If they don't consider, you come to know it is not considered. Okay? Or at least they either inform you or you know that they are not considering. Correct? Now, when you go to a bank to give valuation, you give a valuation. You don't know whether it is accepted or not. Do you know the fate? Do you know the fate? The answer is no. Do they tell you the fate? The answer is no. But do you think that they have accepted the value? Is it okay with them? The answer is no. Can anyone dispute this fact? Can anyone dispute this fact? I am giving you 3 no's. You are given a valuation, you don't know whether it is accepted or not. The banker doesn't tell you whether it is accepted or not. Second one. Third, you don't know whether your valuation is accepted, is found to be right and accepted. Do you know all these three things? The answer is big no. But still we are working for the bank. This is the basic risk. How to arrest and avoid the risk? You write to them or you ask them, please inform me the status of acceptability of my report. Whether you have accepted. Sometimes they may not accept. Sometimes they may accept, they may not sanction the loan. Friends, please remember, in all the banks, today there is a rule, the bank has to say yes or no to your valuation. All the banks have decided or designed their template, valuation format. Union Bank, the manager has to write, it is acceptable to me, I have visited. State Bank, the manager has to write, I have accepted, it is acceptable to me, I have accepted. Canara Bank, they have to write. Bank of India, they have to write. Please see their valuation format. Can anyone dispute? The moment they accept it to be true, you are out of it. You also say that, please convey, you have the right to accept or reject, please convey to me within 15 days, failing which it is deemed to have been accepted by you. Once the bank accepts your valuation on their own independent evaluation, they cannot question you after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Highlight that fact in each and every valuation report by way of a specific terms and condition. It is not a disclaimer. It is not a disclaimer. I don't want to use my brain, strain my brain, whether it is a permissible or unpermissible, impermissible deviation, disclaimer, limitation. If I have given a service to the bank, it is up to the bank to decide whether it is accepted or not accepted. But if it is not accepted, that be conveyed to you within 15 days. Otherwise, we presume that it is deemed to have been accepted. After their own independent evaluation, you highlight that fact. And you cannot be held liable under any circumstances for any reason whatsoever. You put this condition. That will save you from 90% of all your risk. But it doesn't save you if you give a cranky value. Don't think that our asset costing 10, you give 30 and then get away with the nonsense. That is not going to happen. You should not give that. You know that. This precaution you must take is the first to do you must have in bank. All other precautions as per their IVS you have to follow. That is my humble advice to you. And however careful you may be, if you have chance to get affected, offended by in a bumpy road, you cannot avoid that. But as long as you are consciously clean and clear, don't be afraid. Believe in your good faith and in God, and I'm sure you will sail successfully. Bank's valuation, we are going astray or going wrong because of the hurry-burry, the speed, lack of records, and too much of inclination to comply with, remain amiable with the banker in compromising your scruples and valuation, agreeing to a little increase, decrease, all those things. If you don't do that, you don't get assignment, but don't chance upon. Don't chance upon. It's a big topic. I think there has to be a separate session only for this topic. There are so many niceties in this area. I believe when I met you all in Puducherry last time in an offline session, we were talking this at length, but this is a topic worthwhile dwelling around. And this cannot be read from any books. You have to experience and share your experience candidly with others. And again, another big problem with we valuers, we don't share our failure, success with others readily. It's a big problem. We don't do that. The more you do, the better for our community. I think I have answered your question to some extent, but I couldn't do justice in a limited time frame. Positive.
Sir, one last question, sir. From
thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. One last question from valuer Ilamurugu, sir.
Yeah, Ilamurugu.
Sir, with your vast experience, I am very much eager to hear advice from you for beginners to improve their knowledge and skill in valuation profession, sir.
So if you learn everything else in and around valuation line, it is like, you know, what we do.
Who is this?
நாளைக்கு கொஞ்சம் குளித்தல வாங்கி போறேன் சார். காலைல 7 மணிக்கே போயிடுறேன்.
Francis Xavier is going to Kuithalai now. Right. Now, okay. Kuithalai எங்க இருக்கு? திருச்சி கரூர் பக்கம் இருக்குல்ல, சரி போயிட்டு வரட்டும். ரைட். இளமுருகன், your question. நம்மலாம் எப்படி இருக்கோம்னா, so how we are I'll just telling you something. I may be wrong. I could be wrong. We have been brought up only to do what we should do. Kudra madri. See, in a horse cart, we don't look left and right. We go straight. That's why our eyes are also covered. Right? But we must look around. I'll tell you a famous story which my teacher told me once. It is not that I am laughing at value community, but it is a fact. You will agree with me. Let me take 2 minutes more. It's a wonderful example my teacher taught me. India is a land of honey and milk and gold and many things in the past 500 years ago. Some merchants came from Portugal, England to do some selling to our Indians. Wonderful cotton, industrial revolution from England, UK. They came to sell clothes, all other things. The country was discovered by Vasco da Gama many years ago. It was inhabited by many Indians, Mughals, Indians, Hindus. We don't want to talk about civilization, we don't want to. Sindhu, all those things we don't want to talk. But when some merchants came to sell their commodities in the shores of India by traveling through ship, they slowly occupied the place, but we never bothered to look here and there. We were very happy. We were very happy, satisfied with 2 times food. Ek roti, do langoti, naam niranjana tera. We are happy and satisfied. Right? We never looked here and there. They slowly looked around everybody. Ultimately, they ruled the country for many years. Then we started revolting. Then we got our independence. This is the history of, I'm not telling you something or unwrite the history. I'm only rediscovering what we have learned in our history subject. Same thing, boss. We have to look around here and there, failing which will be ruled over by people around, and it will take a long time for us to come out, fight out, and get independence. We are traveling through, I am repeating the same old sonnet I began with. We are traveling through a very rough, tough forest terrain. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. But we have to go to long miles. We have to go for long miles. Somebody may get honey, somebody may get precious, medicinal plants. But many will get beaten up by honeybees. Many will be bitten by wild animals and vultures. We are traveling through rough forest. We must ensure safety, precautionary coverages and safety covers, safety measures to ensure safe journey and make this journey through the wood a very pleasant one and environmentally a very, very friendly one. It takes time to ensure that. And that's what we are up to. Value bill is coming, and I'm extremely happy to tell you the value community will definitely flare up sometime. And I want every one of you to please look out for alternative options. It should become valueless market. They should dictate terms. Housing loan, let the banker send the papers to me by mail. Let the customer take me from my house. Let me go and visit. Let them come and collect my report, acknowledge receipt of report. Let the banker convey the acceptability of the report. Take the fee of 5,000 to 6,000 minimum per valuation. Till such time, we valuation have to maintain, retain, contain, sustain and restore our dignity for the profession. We should not go in the night to take photocopies of the documents of the previous valuer, make a report, give in the morning before 10 o'clock at the table of the banker and charge 800 rupees, 1,000 rupees, 1,500 rupees. That is not valuation. It is like a doctor without seeing the patient giving medicines. So dangerous it is. That is why our value is called dirty value. Since you asked me, I thought I would tell you that, boss. Maybe my words may not be very pleasant and Maybe it is an acidic, but then it is a truth is always bitter. Unmai ennikkume kasakkum, but nidarshanamana unmai vittu odakoodadhu. We should not run away from harsh reality. We should live with that, improve, develop, and progress further. With these words, I would like to conclude. If you have anything found wrong in my statements, which are sometimes emotional and passionate, kindly forgive me. I am known for my acidic remark because I have been brought up the hard way in life. I was a middle class ordinary valuer from South. I belong to Tirunelveli. I studied the hard way. To tell you one more sentence, I never wore a pant during my college days. I was in cycle and dhoti. Only in the final year, I could get a pair of pants. That was a poverty with which I have been brought up in Tirunelveli. So I will never forget those old good days. Today we may be well off. And I'm very happy to interact with you. And I want everybody to keep very high integrity and keep the morality esteem at a very high esteem, and perform well, create a name, fame, and image for valuer community at large. With these words, I would like to conclude my session. And thank you very much for all the IOV chapters of Tamil Nadu. And it's my pleasure. I only look forward to Corona to die down. I want to personally meet you. I am promising you on this August occasion, although it is in July, I am promising you on this great occasion that soon after the Corona vanishing, I would like to come to Puducherry or the other branches, Trichy or Erode myself, and we will not have any session, formal session from the dais and all. We need to sit, meet, eat, interact, all our problems, and try to find a way out. One full day, morning to evening, will start at 10, 5 o'clock. No formal session. The more you are informal, interactive, the more our profession will progress and develop. With these kind words, with hearty thanks to everybody, I really look forward to meeting you all. Sunil Pandey Saab, thanks for your kind words. And I am very happy to ever remain present with Puducherry. I always have great memories to cherish. என்னைக்குமே ரொம்ப ருசிச்சு லைக்கிற மாதிரி பழைய நினைவுகள்லாம் நிறைய இருக்கு. I am really happy and I'm very happy to interact with you. Anything else you want to ask, kindly ask, sir. I'll be happy to interact.
Today's session is very informative, sir, and a very lot of new avenues are you described, and you explained very good manner, and this is really a eye opener for the valuer, that when we got the registration as a panel valuer, we thought that we don't know anything other than the bank valuation. After long experience, we found some valuation extended the SARFAESI and that one-time settlement, some buyer seller approaching us. Now it is widening. When a developer developing a property, he come to us and fixing the rate for the selling rate. Like that, avenues are creating due course in the time duration. And for the beginners, your speech is very much impressive to increase their confidence about the valuer. So thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words and time. And உங்கள்கிட்ட என்ன சொல்றது, அதாவது தமிழ்ல சொன்னா நீங்க தெய்வம் போல வந்து இங்க வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் நல்ல விஷயங்களை எங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு நல்ல மாரல் சப்போர்ட்டுக்கு இருக்கு சார். எங்களுக்கு எங்களோட இந்த இதுல இவரு வந்து மிஸ்டர் ஐயாதுரை வந்து இந்த அளவுக்கு நமக்கு வந்து எந்த விஷயத்துக்கும் நமக்கு ஹேண்டியா இருக்கிறாங்க, ரீச்சபிளா இருக்காங்க அப்படின்றதுல ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு சார். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
தேங்க்யூ. I should thank you. Yes, Rajiv sir. Rajiv has anything to say? I mean, yeah.
Rajiv Saini sir, I have unmuted you. You can give your feedback, Bodwa. Francis Xavier, sir. Sampath, sir, I have unmuted all of you.
Sir, I've learned a lot, sir. Really, he has a varied knowledge in all the subjects, in law, economics, everything. Really, we should appreciate it, and we have to knock all the doors. Not only, he told us, not only for the banks, we should engage in all professionals. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anbalagan, sir, and thank you, our chief guest, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Francis Saab, and wish you safe journey for Kurithalai tomorrow. You are
Yes,
going
sir. Sure, sir.
Ayadurai, sir, it's Rajiv
Sampath,
Sahani.
sir.
Rajiv wants to talk. Rajiv wants to talk.
Rajiv, sir, please go ahead, sir. Rajiv, sir, please go ahead.
I just wanted to give my compliments, sir. Nothing really to ask or add here, but it was a nice session you gave. You talked on dimension, which normally we don't discuss. Our values don't come across quite often. So it was wonderful, as usual, listening to you. You talk on diverse topics, and we have interacted earlier. So wonderful, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your kind words. Great.
Thanks, sir. Sir, Suresh Kumar, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Raja.
Sir, just தமிழ்ல சொன்னா அந்த பாட்சா படம் நிறைய தடவை பார்த்தாச்சு, எத்தனை தடவை பார்த்தோன்னு தெரியாது. அந்த மாதிரி ஐயாவது சார் எத்தனை செஷன் எடுத்தாலும் அந்த பாட்சா படம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் தடவை பார்க்குற மாதிரி அவ்வளோ இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா போகுது. தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் சார், வெரி நைஸ் சார். தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் ஷேரிங் so many avenues. Just it's a eye opener for all of us to have, other than bank valuation, we are having so much avenue in this as a valuer. So I thank you very much for organizers for giving us such a wonderful session, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I'll be happy only if every one of the valuers keep the bank valuation as a last resort. That is my ambition in life. Everybody else should be able to have 90-95% of the income revenue from other avenues other than bank. Then I'm telling you, you have achieved the objective of your life. இந்த ஜென்மம் எடுத்ததுக்கு உண்டான அந்த முழு பழனியை அனுபவிக்கணும்னா பேங்க் வேல்யூவேஷன் அது மேல அந்த ஆதரவு இல்லாம மற்ற எல்லா வேலையிலையும் ஈடுபட்டு அதுல இருந்து நிறைய சம்பாதிக்கிறதுக்கு பிரயத்தனம் பண்ணணும். எனக்கு சரியா தமிழ்ல சொல்ல தெரியல. எனக்கு வங்கியோட அதே மதிப்பீட்டு வேலையிலேயே போட்டு உழன்று அதுலேயே கொமஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கிறதுக்கு பதிலா மற்ற வேலைகள்ல ஈடுபட்டு அதுல இருந்து நிறைய சம்பாதிக்க எல்லாரும் முயற்சி பண்ணணும். அதான் என்னோட மனதார ஆசை. அதுபடி நடந்தால் மனம் போல் மாங்கல்யம், அதுபடியே நடக்கணும். பழம் நழுவி பாடல விழுந்த மாதிரி அந்த காலம் இன்னும் தொலைதூரத்துல இல்லாம கூடிய சீக்கிரமே வரணும்னு வேண்டிக்கிறேன். அவ்வளவு. Ravindran must be Murugesan. I want Murugesan sir's comment. Murugesan sir, yeah.
He's not seen online, sir.
Okay. Sampath has got anything to say?
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
This is very excellent.
Thank you, Ravindran.
Thank you, sir. Unbalanced, sir. Time is 8:10. We can go for what
fine,
time,
sir. Will be. Yes, sir. Thanks, IRV, sir, for boosting our moral, making us feel more nice and confident. And we have a confidence that our future as a technical person will be much better after listening to you. And the avenues which we really have, it's up to us to tap everything. Thank you, sir. Thanks for all that.
Good day.
Yes, sir. And I request Valuer Pal Vijay Kumar, sir, Secretary, IOV Erode Branch, to propose vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. Good evening, dear fellow valuers. On behalf of Institution of Valuers, Erode, Tiruchi, and Puducherry branches, we would like to extend our gratitude to our today's speaker, Sri Ayadurai sir, Registered Valuer, Land and Building, Plant and Machinery, RP, Independent Director, and ex-banker, for enlightening us with his insight on professional growth through new opportunities and avenues. Today's webinar was full of knowledge and interesting things. It gave deep insights into the topics and also revealed some interesting facts. The points where the speaker told us about the new opportunities was really informative, and this session has brought us fresh hope and confidence among the values community. I may like to express our thanks to all the organizers and panelists, Mr. Murugesan, Mr. Muthukumar, Value Ramdulagan, Value Ravindran, Value Relil, Ilan Kumaran, and the others for their motivation and support. A special thanks to all three chapters, chairman, secretary, treasurer, and of course, all the members for their active participation. I also thank the branch members from different parts of our country present here and paying your attention and learning. Thank you everyone once again for making this online meeting a grand success. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.